I go by SupaStarDaGreat, from East Atlanta, Decatur. I just merged it all together because they're so close, you know. So I might say Decatur one day, I might say East Atlanta. Went to school in East Atlanta, live in Decatur. We still in the six with it. It's also known as Zone Six, you know. I'm a music artist, producer, engineer sometimes, and yeah, that describes what I do.
Okay.
As you can see.
And how did you kind of get started doing what you do?
I started making beats first in middle school. Well, attempting to, and yeah, when I got to high school, I took a little more serious. Linked in with some other artists that does music, and we started making songs and eventually built my own studio up. You know, recorded at my house and just different places. Um, yeah, so around high school, took a little more serious, joined a group, Retro Life, you know, me and Dez. Then another group, we had Swag ENT. Then I joined another group called Music Junkies. And then after that, went solo. So that was pretty much like toward the end of high school. And so 18, I was pretty much solo up until now, you know. So yeah, I got started in middle school though, making beats, and then one day I recorded myself over the beat and liked to have sound, so you know we went from there. Mm-hmm.
So tell us about your motivation and where it comes from.
Motivation. If y'all know me, if for a long time, y'all know I'm highly motivated and influenced by Lil Wayne. You know, that's my uncle. Don't tell nobody. Yeah, I always looked up to him back in the day when he was dropping out the Droughts and even the Carters and all them. Just the way he used punchlines and think of stuff you make people say, how did he think of that? You know what I'm saying? So I like the reaction that I had from listening to his music, so I wanted to make other people react to when I say something crazy on the track as well, you know. So the beginning of my career, I was real punchlining, you know, trying to get reactions like the way Wayne did when we listened to his music. Yeah. Dropped 3 days.
Tell us about a time when you felt like quitting.
Whew. A time? A time, okay. Let me see. If you know, I mean, I feel like that's with anything that's hard to achieve. You know, it's gonna be multiple times you feel like quitting. But I would say maybe a little bit after I had my kid. You know, it seemed like it was more pressure to be a father than to pursue your dreams. And then, you know, when you're doing something like entertainment or sports, they always look at that as a hobby and not a career. They're like, okay, you do music, but what you gonna do to make money? Or, oh, you play basketball, but what you do to make money? What's your real job? And, you know, so it's hard to keep music as your real job when the rest of the world is telling you it's a hobby. You know what I'm saying? So I guess when I had my kid, that was one of the hard times because it's like, you know, you don't want to have your kid or your family in a effed up situation, or, you know, y'all poor, or, you know, not doing well. So that's, you know, that made me like get jobs and focus less on the music. And then once I focus less, it's like, dang, I'm not releasing as much music. So, you know, should I still even be doing this, or should I just focus on being the family man? Excuse this car. Yeah, so definitely having a child, that was one of the big moments I could say I felt like quitting. But, you know, I really couldn't bring myself to completely do it. Yeah, because I wake up and get on these keys every day. Oh, see, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, that just be the motivation to keep doing it again. You know, I never, you know, I might have put a beat machine in a pawn shop here and there, put a keyboard in a pawn shop. I ain't never leave it there. I came back and got my babies. I ain't gonna leave y'all. Yeah, it's sad. But yep, definitely. That probably was the biggest, having a kid, you know, and transitioning from just worry about you and your music to focusing on you, your music, your kid, your family, the household, you know. So just finding that balance was hard. I was around, I guess, 2014, somewhere around there, yeah, 13, 14.
Okay. So, what was a pivotal moment in life that made you say you had to do it? You had to become successful.
Um, pivotal moments I had to do it. I just, I started seeing people around me go further with it, and once I had a couple close people I was with become successful, like 217, we grew up together, Lil Donald, you get what I'm saying, a few other people. And once I seen them do it, it gave me confirmation like it's possible. Because sometimes you don't see it's possible really until you see people around you do it. It's like, okay, he from where I'm from, so I can do that. If he can do it, I can do it. You get what I'm saying? Because when you look on TV, we're not from where Lil Wayne from. We're not from where Drake is from. We're not from, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, seems out of reach. So, but when you see people from who came up in similar situations and struggles, it's like, okay, yeah, my boys did it. I gotta get up through there too. You know what I'm saying? So that was definitely motivation, because a lot of people it's either two ways you're gonna take a situation from your homie elevating and becoming successful. Either you're gonna be a hater and hate, or you gonna get motivated. You know what I'm saying? So I took the left route, or the right route rather. I think the other way, the left route. But yeah, I got motivated by it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I gotta do this. Yeah, so.
Did people laugh at your idea?
Did people laugh at my idea? I'm sure secretly, you know, a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, they laugh behind your back. And, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never been a sucker type of guy, so if they laugh in my face, it's gonna be a little situation. But I'm sure, you know what I'm saying? Probably there's always people laughing at something. Somebody laughed at Steve Jobs when he was coming up with Apple and the computers and all that. Somebody laughed. Probably a bunch of people laughed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure. Especially, I had a bunch of ideas with the music. So I think originally we were supposed to, right there, we were supposed to start a band. Yeah, so like I remember there people laughing like a band. So you get what I'm saying? But music group, bands, all the same thing as long as you're producing good music. You get what I'm saying? So I always been pretty musical. I always keep instruments around and just like my muse, you get what I'm saying? Like, so that to me that what keeps me going from stress and just problems of life. Is like, I already got my music, you know what I'm saying? It ain't too bad. So yeah, I'm sure people did laugh at my ideas.
What prompted you to become an entrepreneur?
Entrepreneur. Okay. Well, I think just, giving so much of myself to other jobs and making them richer and that not benefiting my personal life at all. It's like every year their company getting bigger and bigger and their cars getting better and my cars and houses staying the same size. So it's like I realize if I want more than what I'm currently having and getting, I got to create the situation instead of looking for other people to give it to me or wait for them to elevate me. And I looked at the time frame I put into other companies and the progression through the years, and to me, the time didn't add up with the progression. It's like I put in 7-8 years here, but I only went from a Honda to a Dodge. You get what I'm saying? Wow, they went from Benzes to Bentleys to so they progression was more prevalent and something I was trying to get at. So I'm like, okay, I get it. The only way, and I can't be mad at them because that's their company and they're elevating it. So, the only way to live that type of lifestyle to me is to create the environment I want myself, create the lifestyle I want, So that what motivated me for that.
Did you have a tragedy that helped mold your aspiration?
Well, the only tragedy that I had, I ain't the only, but because there was a few, I lost a lot of classmates from school we went to, and you know, it was, motivation to keep doing what I'm doing, because some of the other paths other people took, or was the wrong path and ended their path. But personally, like as far as my inner family, like my grandmother passing a couple years ago, that you know, I guess that kind of tied to the other question. That almost made me quit too, cause it was like grandma was one of the people I wanted to bring out of her situation through my music. Like I'm gonna get rich, get my grandma a house, da 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 da. So it was like one of some of my purposes and goals behind it I couldn't achieve no more. So, but then it ended up motivating me to keep going because I realized like what she would want me to feel instead of how I was actually feeling. She would want me to, keep doing what I'm doing and stay at it. So when I thought about her words when she was here, it was more so along those lines. So yeah, that kind of motivated me.
At what point did you realize you can tap into a new market?
One of the points was I remember a coworker of mine, he came to me and he told me he had a clothing line, and in Atlanta everybody doing something, so like you listen and you just taking it for what it is. Okay, you got a clothing line. And he like, no, like I have a big clothing line. Like we been featured in fashion magazines and this and that, and we make over blah blah sales and whatnot. So I'm like, okay, that what's up. So he know I do music, so I don't know why he keep bringing the fact that he does fashion to me, but I'm listening. So I'm like, okay. So then he goes, yeah. So I've been telling you because they have a fashion show coming up, and I know you make beats and stuff, but I need a beat for the models to walk on the runway to. And, I pay you for it. So I'm like, you want me to make a beat for runway models? I'm like, what kind of beat is that? So, I'm like, just some nice and steady that they can walk out to. So I had never heard that. So it was a different market. I'm like, okay, let me watch some runway videos and see what kind of music they walk out to. You know what I'm saying? So then once I watched a few, I said, okay, I kind of get the general vibe. Let me give it a try. And he ended up loving it. Him and his wife, he was like, oh, we love it, da 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 da. It was like, we're gonna get it mixed and throw it in there. So then he did what he said. He showed me the video. I had models walking out to my beat and got paid. So it was like a different market, because like there's so many ways to get paid off music, but most people just focus on a few, like rapping, video, streams. But there's so many other ways. You know what I'm saying? That's why like the more you are into music, the more ways you can get paid. Like I know some people who producers, but then they DJ on the weekend, or they DJs, but they host music events other days. You know what I'm saying? Like music just got so many aspects, or you can do soundtracks for movies, and but that was one of the things that made me realize I can do different lanes and target different audience.
When faced with adversity, what character traits do you possess to overcome it?
We got some questions. Okay, when faced with adversity, say that again?
When faced with adversity, what character traits do you possess to overcome it?
I have the character trait of optimism. So I'm the type of person, when a situation goes bad or looks bad, I take whatever little good out of it and focusing on that. Because if you focus on the bad, even if the bad is 80%, if you focus on the 80%, it's going to turn into 100%. So I focus on the 20% good and let that outshine the 80% eventually. You know what I'm saying? So, Like, you know, if they cut the lights off, I'm like, well, at least we got a roof over our head. At least we still got food in the refrigerator. Still, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, at least we still got whatever. And then focusing on that, I end up finding a way to, you know, take care of the lights. You know, for an example. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just focusing on optimism. Not let negativity cloud your judgment.
Is it about the money or is it about the freedom?
Yes, it's about the money. I'm just playing. Nah, actually, no. I know it's not about the money because I did more free shit with music than money shit. So, you know, can we cuss in? Okay. Yeah, I did more free things with my music than money. So, if it was about the money, I'd have been out. You know, I'm over 10 years in, you know, and, you know, I'm not in a huge house. I'm not in, you know. So that shows there it's about the passion for music rather than the money. You know what I'm saying?
What's the number one struggle to gain entry in your market, and what advice would you give to someone trying to start out?
The number one struggle is, number one struggle. I think the number one struggle is doubt within your own mind. You get what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes it don't be you initially. Sometimes other people can poison your mind because initially you had the idea of I'm gonna be a musician. I'm gonna do this. So your head be strong, and then your friends be like, but the odds of that is blah 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 blah, and there's so many other blah 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 blah, and you get what I'm saying? You get all those, and then you get so many of those that now in your own head you're starting to think it's not as possible as you initially thought when you had that first thought. So I think that's the big struggle, overcoming doubt within your mind or doubt that's been clouded into your mind by peers. Once you just stay focused on what you know in your heart, then you'll be okay. Wasn't it a two-part question? What was the other one?
What advice would you give to somebody trying to start out?
What advice I would give? I would tell people to only hang with people that see your vision. Don't, you know, I don't care how long I've been friends. If they don't see your vision, you can't hang with them because your vision will never happen. You know, so you can be the new person today, and you tell them your vision, and they all on board. You know what I'm saying? They want to help you with it. They're like, oh, you rap, I make beats. You know, let me know when you in the studio. You know what I'm saying? They're on board with your vision, and then you so the people that's not, they're hindering it. You know what I'm saying? So you may not have to cut them off completely, but you just can't hang with them all the time because they're not gonna help project you into where you're trying to be. So, most of my friends, they're in the business I'm into. They might not rap, but they do something that can help where I'm trying to be. Whether you got a camera, whether you good on the keyboard, whether you engineer, you know what I'm saying? So whether you got a magazine company, something, And not saying that you should only have friends that you can use, but you know what I'm saying, you should have friends that associate with the type of lifestyle you want to live, So I would give them that, Don't just hang with everybody because everybody ain't beneficial. And some people can be a deficit and drag you down away from your goal. That's okay.
Did you start entrepreneurship when you wanted, or do you wish you started earlier?
No, I started when I wanted. Because at first I was just going with the mold of life, have a kid, get a job, da. So I didn't even per se, well, in a sense, I mean, if I was gonna do my entrepreneurship earlier, it would have been with my music. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like when I just started creating income for myself, no, I did it when I wanted to. I wanted to acquire the skills from the jobs and make sure I was good at what I was doing when I moved into entrepreneurship. So yeah, I did it when I wanted to. I planned it. I said this is gonna be my last year, or next year will be my last year, or and I did it when I said I was. Maybe a month or two off, but pretty much.
Do you have a mentor, and did you struggle finding one?
A mentor. I don't think I have a mentor. I just I just have a few people that knowledge is always essential, or something that I could take, and they never been put in a position like, hey, I'm be your mentor, or you know, they just real people that look out for me because that's part of their character. It's just they, want to see the younger person progress. So they're like, look, young blood, don't be moving like this because X, Y, Z can happen. Or might be a female like, hey, don't focus on that, focus on this, and I got you with this, this, and this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just have a very few people that select people that just give me advice or guidance. On some been there, done there type shit. Like, you get what I'm saying? So, but an actual mentor, like that's what it is. Nah, I never really had a mentor.
Do you think having a job is a hindrance to being an entrepreneur?
Well, me personally, yeah, I think it's a big hindrance because, like I just said with the other example, you're giving your energy, your percentage to another company's wealth. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's no way you can be bigger than Walmart and you work at Walmart. It's just because the hours that you need to build up your brand, you give it to them. Time is more important than money. So even if somebody gave you $1 million and you had the money to start up your business and do whatever you needed to do, if you still working for somebody else, you're not gonna have the time to do this stuff. You're not gonna have the time to call the contractors, to build your building, to meet with the flooring people, and you know what I'm saying. You have to have the time to build up your brand and your business. So, like I said, granted, it would have to be really, really part time. Like really part time, and that would make you work harder and spend more time and later hours. So it's possible, I guess, but it's definitely a hindrance. So to answer the question,
what do your parents think of your job?
They're proud of that I'm able to bring wealth to myself instead of work for someone else. Like my mom was a little scared, worried initially, but they're okay with it. They know me because they know even back when I was in between jobs, I always made something happen. So they know I got a certain trait to make something happen regardless. So I never been the kid that they had to worry about per se. Like I grew up pretty fast.
And last question.
Mm-hmm.
Any advice?
This period?
Yeah. Any advice to somebody that's trying to get into the music industry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Any advice? Okay. I think you this is the most, somebody told me this year, like 10, 20 years ago. I might mess it up a little bit, but know who you are. That's the most important. Know who you are. Because if you come in the industry not knowing who you are, the industry will tell you who you are and tell you who you can't be and tell you who you need to be. You know what I'm saying? But when you come in the industry knowing who you are and standing on that, nobody can tell you, oh, you're supposed to do this, or you're supposed to rap about this, or your video is supposed to look like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody can tell Snoop Dogg who he is. He didn't hide the fact he was a Crip, he was from Cali. He wore that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? What's up, cuz? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he's still that. So, and that doesn't even mean, when I say who you are, literally who you are. So if you know what I'm saying, you're an anime video game playing guy who likes to rap, that's who you are, and have that part of your persona. Like, I'll be in my music videos playing a video game, you know what I'm saying, just showing, or having anime characters around me. Like, that's part of you, and you're gonna feel better doing it because that's part of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the first video we released when it was a retro life was skateboarder dude, and we was skateboarding for real. Like that wasn't just about the video. Like when the video went off, we probably skateboarded home. Like you get what I'm saying? So knowing who you are before the industry tell you who you are, or anybody else, or before a manager tell you who you are, before a booking agent tell you who you are. You got to know who you are and carry who you are, where you're from, and what you represent. You know what I'm saying? So when you know those three things, that's like the foundation. Everything else can build upon that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know who you are, what you represent, where you from, people ain't gonna come with you with certain stuff. They ain't gonna be like, hey, Superstar, I want you to hop on this gospel track. Like I don't make gospel music. I know who I am. I know where I'm from. I know you know what I'm saying. It's like But if you're lost, if you just like I do music, you're gonna be all over the place. You're gonna be on a song with Kurt Franklin. You're gonna be over here making a song with Led Zeppelin. You're gonna be trying to get on a track with the Baby. They gonna be like, what is he? You know what I'm saying? It's just you gotta know who you are, where you from, where you represent. That's my best advice. And then figure out the rest later. Yep.
Nice. Cool. Looking at this camera.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them who you filming with.
All right. We are here with Desi Films. Is that how you say it?
Film. Hippie Dez.
Hippie Dez. Like I remember my boy Hippie Dez. Because you gotta realize me and him go back. So you know what I'm saying? Like I said, he was in the first music group I was in. So we here with Hippie Dez, locked in, SupaStarDaGreat, East Atlanta Zone 6. You checking in. Follow me at SupaStarDaGreat. Thank y'all for tuning in. Follow the movement. Get. Grown as kids. Growth and knowledge. It's two meanings. You know what I'm saying? Cheat.